Hello and welcome to a video about Max MSP. What I'm going to do is give you a very hopefully gentle introduction to Max right from the basics. So first I'm going to start the Max software running. It's hard to say what the Max software does because in reality it can do an awful lot. It can be, well, one of the world's most flexible synthesizers. It can be an automatic music composition device. It can be things which generate random or related to music, 3D graphics. It can do an awful lot of things. But obviously, for a start, we'll start off with something quite basic. Okay, here is the Max Patch window. I went up there, File, New, to make a patcher. And on Unpatcher, you make a graph or a chart or a whole lot of objects joined by squiggly lines to actually do something. The first thing I'm going to do is make an object called a bang button, and we'll see what that does. So I chose the menu, chose bang button, and went up there. Okay, I'm going to, in fact, rather than increase the size, I'm going to zoom in so it's a bit bigger. Okay, it appears to have disappeared, but it's just scrolled off the end. So there's my bang button. If I go from edit mode into lock mode, then I can start using my objects and I can click my button. It's not very impressive because the button doesn't do anything. You click it and it seems to react. In reality, what Max is all about, it's all about objects that are connected to each other through patch cords, like you'd have on a modular synthesizer. Okay, so I'm going to make a new object called LED. What does LED do? Well, like a real LED, it flashes. If I click it, it turns on and turns off. Okay, but the real interesting thing is that you can join these objects together. Now, the basic concept is that if you do something to an object, or sometimes just by itself, or whenever, it produces messages that come out of outlets. That's an inlet where things can go in, and that's an outlet where something can come out. If I click on the bang button, what it does is it sends a bang message which goes down the patch cord and gets to the LED. What the bang does when it gets there depends on which object this is. I know that because this is an LED button, that if I bang the button, the LED will flash. What happens is I bang the button, a bang message travels down the patch cord, hits the LED, and the LED knows that if it receives a bang message, it should flash. Okay, there are lots of different types of messages, and also lots of different objects that react in different ways. What can I do with this LED? I'm going to make it slightly bigger, which I can do, and I'm also going to bring up what's called the inspector to change its properties. There are a lot of different properties here, but the ones I'm going to change are the highlighted colour. I'm going to have a bright red, and the inactive LED colour I'm going to have a dark red. And you see it's already changed. Get rid of the LED inspector, and now I have a slightly different LED button. I've changed its properties. It still does the same basic thing, which is flash when it receives a bang message, but it's a little redder. Okay, there are different types of things I can have. I talk about messages being sent back and forth. I can actually make a message called hello. Okay, and if I go into lock mode, I can click on that message and it sends hello at the bottom. But since the bottom isn't connected to anything, the outlet isn't connected to anything, it doesn't do very much. What would happen if I sent that message to the LED? I'm going to bring up another window called the Max Console, and we're going to see what happens if we send that message to the LED. Okay, it says LED doesn't understand hello. LED knows what to do if it receives a bang. It doesn't know what to do if it receives hello. So let's get rid of that object. Okay, another type of message I can send is an integer number. I can take an integer number and send it into the LED. Now, going into lock mode, I can actually make this send numbers by, say, for example, sending the number 44. The LED comes on and stays on. If I put 22, the LED is still on. If I put 0, then the LED turns off. So what we've seen there is whoever actually made this LED decided that on receiving a 0, it would turn off, and I'm receiving a 1 or any other number, it would turn off. So if we wanted to actually have a number flashing the LED when we get a number coming out of the bottom here, what would we do? Well, fortunately, the bang button itself does receive an input. And what it does is that the bang button, if it receives a number as an input, what it sends out the bottom in response is a bang. So I can now start doing this. And you can see that the number goes into the bang button. The bang button turns that message into a bang, and then the bang will bang the LED. There's another type of object called a toggle button. It's quite useful in turning things on and off. And it works very well with the LED, because if we turn the toggle button on, it makes the LED turn on, and if we turn the toggle button off, it makes the LED turn off. How does it do that? Well, actually very simple. I'm going to make another object so we can actually see what's coming out of the bottom of the toggle. And you can see that if we toggle it on, it just sends out a 1, and if we toggle it off, it sends a 0. So there's no particular magic with the toggle button turning the LED on and off. It just happens to be that it sends out simple messages out the bottom, 1 or 0, and that works well with the LED. Okay, that's step 1 of this movie, and I'm actually going to stop the movie now, and we're going to go on and extend this in step 2.